The horse stood still in the center of the courtyard, carved from black wood so dark it swallowed the sunlight. It had no saddle, no reins, no breath rising from its nostrils, yet its jeweled eyes seemed alive. The crowd whispered that it was cursed. The inventor swore it could fly. Prince Ahmed did not believe in miracles, but when he touched the smooth neck of the ebony horse and turned the small golden peg hidden behind its ear, the world fell away beneath him. In a heartbeat, the palace shrank to a toy of marble and gold. The city became a blur of white domes and narrow streets. The wind screamed past his ears, tearing his breath from his chest as he soared higher than any falcon had ever dared to fly. Then the sky changed. The blue above him darkened into a shade he had never seen before, a color that did not belong to this world. And far ahead, beyond the rim of the earth, he saw a light glowing in the distance, a place no map had ever marked. He had wanted to win a contest. Instead, he was leaving his world behind, and he had no idea how to return. Long before the ebony horse carried him into the unknown, Prince Ahmed was simply the youngest son of a powerful king in the heart of a vast and glittering empire. The capital rose from the desert like a dream, its towers crowned with turquoise tiles, its markets perfumed with saffron and rosewater. At its center stood the palace, a fortress of carved stone and shaded gardens where fountains sang day and night. Ahmed had two older brothers, Prince Hassan, bold and proud, and Prince Ali, clever and charming. Their father, growing older and burdened by rule, decided that only one of them would inherit the throne, but he did not wish to choose by birth alone. "There will be a contest," the king declared before his court. "Each of you will travel beyond our borders and return with the most wondrous treasure you can find. The one who brings the greatest marvel shall prove himself worthy." The princes bowed. The court murmured with excitement. This would not be a battle of swords, but of vision and daring. Ahmed felt both thrill and fear. He was known for his kindness and quiet strength, not for cunning. Yet he longed to prove himself, not only to his father, but to himself. He wanted to be more than the youngest son who followed in his brother's shadows. They set out on separate roads at dawn. Hassan rode toward distant mountains, said to hold ancient secrets. Ali traveled west to bustling cities where merchants dealt in wonders from across the seas. Ahmed rode east toward lands where the desert met the sky. Weeks passed. Ahmed crossed golden plains and narrow passes carved into stone cliffs. He slept beneath cold stars and listened to stories told by caravan travelers. But no treasure he saw seemed worthy of a throne. Until, one evening, in a city of brass gates and lantern-lit streets, he saw the horse. It stood in the marketplace, surrounded by a curious crowd. The man beside it wore robes embroidered with strange symbols and a turban wrapped high above sharp, watchful eyes. "This," the man proclaimed, "is no ordinary horse. It is crafted from ebony, blessed by ancient spirits. With a turn of this peg, it will rise into the heavens and carry its rider wherever he desires." The crowd laughed. Some called it trickery, others called it madness. Ahmed stepped forward. "And what is its price?" The inventor's gaze lingered on him. "A prince's promise," he said. "Whoever claims this horse must grant me one request when the time comes." Ahmed hesitated. A promise was not lightly given, but he thought of the contest. He thought of the throne. "I accept," he said. The inventor showed him the hidden mechanism, a golden peg to ascend, a silver one to descend. Ahmed mounted the horse, determined to test the boast. He turned the golden peg, and the sky swallowed him whole. The wind nearly tore him from the saddle. Below him, rivers twisted like threads of silver. Mountains shrank into wrinkles on the earth. Ahmed's heart pounded in terror and wonder. He tried to turn the silver peg, but in his panic, he could not find it. Higher and higher the horse climbed, until the air grew thin and the stars shimmered even though it was still day. Then, as if guided by its own will, the horse tilted forward and flew beyond the edge of the known world. What he saw next stole his breath. Beyond the horizon lay a hidden realm suspended between sky and earth. It was a kingdom of floating gardens and crystalline towers that shimmered with their own light. Waterfalls spilled from islands hanging in the air, turning into mist before they touched the void below. The ebony horse descended onto a white stone balcony. Ahmed slid from the saddle, trembling. He had not found the silver peg, yet the horse had brought him safely down. He was not alone. From the archway emerged a woman clothed in robes that shimmered like dawn. Her hair flowed like dark silk, and her eyes held a depth that seemed older than the stars. "I have waited long for you," she said softly. Ahmed placed his hand on his sword, though he felt no threat. "Where am I?" "In a realm hidden from mortal eyes," she replied. "I am Princess Lale, daughter of the guardian of this kingdom, and you, Prince Ahmed, have crossed a boundary few men survive." He stared at her in shock. "You know my name?" She smiled faintly. The horse was crafted by one who once belonged to this realm. It was never meant to remain in your world. Understanding dawned slowly. The inventor had not merely sold him a marvel, he had sent him here. Days turned into weeks in the floating kingdom. Ahmed explored its luminous gardens and listened to Lale speak of a fragile balance between realms. Her father, once protector of the skies, had been weakened by a shadow rising from beyond the edges of creation. A being known as the Veiled One sought to consume both worlds, drawing power from fear and ambition. The ebony horse had been designed as a bridge, an escape if the worst came to pass. Ahmed felt torn. His father expected him to return. His brothers would soon present their treasures. Yet here, in this impossible realm, he felt something deeper than ambition awakening within him. He found himself drawn to Lale, not only for her beauty, but for her quiet strength. She carried the weight of a kingdom that teetered on the brink of destruction. One night, as twin moons glowed overhead, she spoke plainly. "The Veiled One grows stronger. The horse's return was no accident. It may be our only hope." Ahmed understood what she was asking before she finished. "You want me to take it back? To bring aid?" She shook her head. "No army can reach us, but you can. You were not meant to stay here as a visitor." The ground trembled beneath their feet. A darkness spread across the far horizon like ink spilled across parchment. The Veiled One had come. The sky split with thunder as a massive shadow rose from the void beyond the floating islands. It had no true form, only shifting tendrils of smoke and flickering eyes like dying embers. Its voice echoed without sound, pressing against the mind rather than the ear. Fear flooded the kingdom. Towers cracked, gardens withered where its shadow passed. Ahmed's father, pale and weakened, attempted to summon ancient wards. They shattered like glass. Ahmed felt the old fear return, the same fear he had felt when the horse first soared beyond his control. He was no sorcerer. He was no god. He was only a prince who had wanted to win a contest. The ebony horse stood nearby, its carved eyes glowing faintly. The inventor's words returned to him, a prince's promise. The horse was not merely transport, it was a conduit, a vessel of ancient power tied to both realms. If I ride it into the heart of the shadow, can it carry light back into it? Lale's gaze widened. You would be consumed. Then I will carry the light of two worlds with me. The veiled one surged forward, devouring an entire floating garden in seconds. Ahmed mounted the horse and turned the golden peg. They shot upward, directly into the darkness. The cold was absolute. Memories flickered around him. His father's stern face, his brother's rivalry, the scent of the palace gardens. Doubt whispered that he was foolish, that no one would remember him. He gripped the horse's neck and shouted into the void. I am Prince Ahmed of the mortal world, and I will not let fear rule either of our realms. He reached for the silver peg, not to descend, but to balance the mechanism. He turned both pegs at once. The horse blazed with blinding light. The shadow screeched, unraveling as light poured into its core. The veiled one thrashed, but the combined force of the two realms, channeled through the horse, tore it apart from within. For a moment, there was nothing but white. Then silence. He fell. He awoke in the palace courtyard. The ebony horse stood still once more, dark and lifeless. Courtiers surrounded him in stunned disbelief. His brothers stared as if he had returned from the grave. The contest had ended days ago. Hassan had brought a sword that cut through steel. Ali had brought a mirror that revealed distant lands. Yet neither treasure could compare to the tale of where Ahmed had gone. The king embraced his youngest son with tears in his eyes. But Ahmed's gaze drifted to the horizon. At dawn, for a fleeting instant, he saw a shimmer in the sky, a faint outline of floating gardens glowing like memory. He knew Lale lived. He knew the realms were safe, for now. He kept his promise to the inventor when the man reappeared at court, silent and watchful. Ahmed granted him protection and freedom, understanding at last that some inventions were meant not for power, but for courage. In time, Ahmed became king. He ruled not with pride, but with humility, born from standing at the edge of existence itself. He never forgot that ambition had once driven him skyward, but love and responsibility had guided him back. And sometimes, on clear nights, he would look up at the stars and remember the moment he had flown beyond the world. Every legend carries a question. If you stood before the ebony horse, knowing it could carry you beyond everything you understand, would you turn the golden peg? If this story carried you into another realm tonight, let me know in the comments what part moved you most. And if you love epic tales of courage, destiny, and worlds hidden beyond the horizon, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more legendary adventures. Until the next story, keep looking at the sky.